So I wanted to tell this story. This is I haven't told it on stage very often, but I wanted to do it tonight because it took place here. And it's a story that I like to call the most surreal thing I've ever experienced. So I lived here in Boston for 9.5 years, and I was, and none of this shit was here when I was here. The State House, no, not here. The State House wasn't here yet. Faneuil Hall wasn't here. Just the construction for the Big Dig. That was it. And the Steve Grogan Tunnel. But no one's gonna get those fucking jokes. Why would I even say anybody outside of Boston? Anyway, so I and a bunch of my friends used to work as messengers over at this law firm in One Beacon, and fuck yeah, awesome building, and does not get its due. So we worked as messengers, foot messengers, and occasionally there was you'd get an assignment where you got a cab, and the cab had vouchers, and that was always the plum assignment. You get maybe one a month. Everybody would kind of scramble for them because whenever you got in a cab, it meant and the cab drivers were all cool. You could just spend the day in the cab basically doing this thing because you had to go far away, and you just fudge the time, and they were going to get paid, you were fine. So you could run errands, you could go to fucking New Hampshire and get some syrup or whatever. So one of the cab drivers that they used in this kind of stable of cab driver voucher things had Tourette's, and he would come up, like if there were packages, and they'd lay them out on the reception area, and then the mailroom was right next to the lobby there. So we'd hear him get out of the elevator because he had Tourette's, and you'd hear, it was the kind of the explosive swearing one, and then we would go, oh, the Tourette cab driver's here, and then he would pick up his thing, and then he'd get in the elevator, and we could look, and then we would all, when the elevator doors closed, we'd all run over to the elevator bank, because it's got that little crack, and then we'd listen, and you'd hear him be like all the way down. We were on the 35th floor. You're like, fucking shit. And it was kind of funny. It was not like gut-busting funny, but like mildly tragically humorous, Like when you see an elderly person running for the bus and they just miss it, like that kind of like, oh, that kind of funny. And so one day I get the assignment to take, because it was so big, they had 3 floors and they had their own kitchen and cooking staff, and I got the assignment to take the knives and the cutlery down to the south end to the meatpacking district and go get them sharpened at this professional knife sharpening place that sold, they sold restaurant equipment. And I'm like, oh, great, that's great. I got a voucher guy. And I'm waiting, and the cab driver comes up, and I get the Tourette's cab driver. So double score. And so I get in the cab, I got all the knives, and I'm talking to him, just asking questions, what's the craziest story you've seen? What's the, how is it being a cab driver? What have you seen, blah, blah, blah. And I go, oh, can we stop off with my friend John Ennis, if you know him. Stop off at my friend's place. So I stop off, I have him sit there and have him wait. I go into John's place. He was selling weed at the time, and probably no reason for me to say at the time. But, so I go in, hang out, get completely baked. We're playing video games, eating sandwiches, whatever, and then after like 20 minutes, like, I'm like, oh shit, I'm at work. That's right, I forgot. So get back in the cab, and we drive down to South End where they have and it's all wholesale. There's no retail at all. It's just all wholesale stuff. And we go into this place that nobody's in, and it's just aisle after aisle of these gleaming, monstrous steel, like prison, stuff you see in prisons, are huge hotels of big slicers, and it's just this weird, creepy, like David Cronenberg gynecological terror, you know, awfulness. And it's all gleaming chrome. And give the guy the knives. He's like, all right, this will take about 20 minutes, whatever. And then he goes through the plastic thing, and you just hear like that awful metal on metal sound. And I'm walking up and down the aisles, you know, looking at the stuff, killing time, and the cab driver is, you know, touretting his way through. And then we both kind of end up together at the counter, next to where the guy is sharpening all the knives. And keep in mind, I'm fucking high out of my mind. And you know, there's this crazy knife stuff. And then behind the counter, that no one is tending now, is a teddy bear. And the teddy bear was this popular toy at the time, whatever it was called. It was a teddy bear where you talked into it, and then it would repeat, Teddy Ruxpin. And it would repeat your voice. So you go, I love you, Teddy Ruxpin. I love you, Teddy Ruxpin. All right. So we get up there, and I'm leaning on the counter, and the guy's right here, and he's like, yeah, you know, I could get a fucking job, I think, you know, but I fucking wouldn't want to. And then the bear, the angelic, cherubic bear, like, you know, mechanical mouth is like, I wouldn't want to get a fucking and then every time the bear stops, he starts again, and then he's going, and he's like, yeah, but you know, I wouldn't want to fucking I wouldn't want to and the knives are and I'm really high, and the guy's not even fucking acknowledging how crazy this is. The bear's right here, he's right here, and the bear's like, nah, you know, the mechanical mouth. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck is going on? I'm in this Mobius time strip of swearing, and it was the craziest, most surreal thing. Anyway, thank you very much. That will be that. Good night.